In 2001, create awareness and take action was the presidential theme. President Neal observed that most Rotarians, particularly in South Orange County, led fortunate lives even before joining a Rotary Club, but can find even richer rewards in the experience of being a Rotarian. Neal chose a theme song for his presidency, the classic Three Dog Night song, Joy to the World, to focus the club on sharing the joy and fellowship of members' lives with the entire community, local and international. Throughout the year, Neal had a rather strange green best friend. Jeremiah the Bullfrog led the club in singing Joy to the World, and each week Neal reminded everyone to do their duty by spreading a little joy in the world. Hokey at best, it apparently succeeded as MBSR swept first place awards at the district conference for all categories of service. Continued involvement with the Mixteco Indians and major international service projects. Club members participated in a house built in the colony and rented a bus to take youngsters to their first visit to the Thousand Smiles Cleft Palate Clinic in Ensenada.
Excitement around the world, fear at a fever's pitch. Neal Burns' incoming presidency? Nah, it was the millennium, Neal. Year 2000 was the target of Y2K concerns, fearing computers could not shift from the two-digit 99 to 2000. It was an even scarier time for Monarch Beach Sunrise, fearing that its new president could not shift from a 200 vacation day year to only 99 vacation days. The year 2000 was also marked as the International Year of Culture and Peace and the World Mathematical Year. Not to be outdone by world scholars, Neal, a scholar of his own designation, made sure to advise us that popular culture also holds that the year 2000 as the first year of the 21st century and the third millennium. In the Gregorian calendar, however, this distinction falls to year 2001, Neal. It was the millennium and everything was new and exciting, right? I suppose that explains why Ted picked a theme song from a 70s band, which was written not by Three Dog Night, who made it a hit, but rather by a fella named Hoyt Axton. It was written as part of a children's show and likely should have stayed there. The song was Joy to the World, and because of Neal, it became a joy to Rotary.
Nan-Ide 2001-2002. Mankind is our business was the presidential theme. President Nan served her term of office the same time her husband Rod served as district governor, perhaps establishing a record in the history of Rotary across the world. Nan also faced the difficult decision of whether or not to cancel the club's meeting immediately after September 11th, 2001. She decided to not cancel so that members could draw comfort from one another, and it worked. At the conclusion of Nan's year, Monarch Beach Sunrise was awarded Richard King's Rotary International Presidential Citation of Merit. And of course, Nan and Rod wound up their respective years and terms of service, happily married as ever. The club's demotion meeting at the end featured a side-splitting roast of this ultimate Rotary couple going through a typical Rotary day.
There was a solar eclipse, and of course no one could forget September 11, but Nan's year had a lot of fun moments too. Never one to be outdone by Neal, and certainly not by a minor event like the millennium. Nan would have been happy to note that by traditional interpretation of the Gregorian calendar, 2001 was actually the first year of the 21st century, and thus was actually the third millennium. This was also the year where Wikipedia, a wiki-free content encyclopedia, went online, thus providing Terry and me with all of this trivia so that we're not forced to admit that we remember absolutely nothing beyond last night's dinner. And last, 2001 saw the United Kingdom hit with foot and mouth disease. Naturally, as a concerned and giving Rotarian, Nan sent Rod to the United Kingdom so that they could gain information by studying his personal experience with foot and mouth disease.
John Hayden, 2002-2003, and one of my personal favorite presidential themes, Sowing the Seeds of Love. President John, a psychologist by trade, encouraged the club to get in touch with its more sensitive side while sowing the seeds of love throughout the world. MBSR's international outreach was extended to Kenya and Jordan in the form of scholarship money sent to educate AIDS orphans and needy students. The club was also able to contribute $10,000 to Rotary's international conquest of polio, as well as continuing club involvement with the Mixteco Indians in Tijuana. Yes. One more dazzling morning in March of 2003, 33 Paul Harris Fellows were awarded to members of the club, further cementing MBSR's stellar reputation for Rotary International involvement. The year was graced by many occasions of truly warm friendship, as members drew inspiration from one another's friendship and spirit of giving.
John, like you, your year was unique. Following 9/11, the Homeland Security Act was passed and the world saw former New York Mayor Rudolph Giuliani receive an honorary knighthood from Queen Elizabeth II. The 74th Academy Awards, hosted by Whoopi Goldberg, were held at the Kodak Theater with the film A Beautiful Mind winning Best Picture. Appropriate for your year, during which John Whoopi, the song leader, tortured us with words of songs we didn't know, and notes of songs we couldn't hit, and hymns we couldn't possibly hum. It's believed that his intent was to make us all crazy, while exponentially increasing his caseload as the local psychologist. No doubt in deference to you, John, Estonia hosted the first Eurovision Song Contest in a former Soviet republic, and as a tribute to you, all singers were accompanied by an accordionist.
Peter Hess, 2003-2004. His Rotary theme was Lend a Hand. The late Peter Hess looked forward to serving Monarch Beach Sunrise Rotary Club as president. He attended the president-elect training and also confided in club members that he really wanted his place to emphasize on growing membership, encouraging fellowship. A tragic accident took Peter's life before he could assume office, but in his memory, club members committed themselves to carry out a full year's program of effort. 4 former presidents stepped forward for leading the club over the next 4 quarters: Neil Burns, Ted Bowersox, John Hayden, and Nan Eide. Peter's legacy was his wonderful spirit of volunteerism, and shared by his wife Linda, who later became our club president-elect for 2009-2010. Peter's father, Phil, was so touched by how much Rotary had meant to him that he donated $5,000 for one of Peter's favorite projects. It was to build 3 houses for the indigent Mixteco Indians. So Peter's dad, Rotarians, and their children hammered with nails, and Peter's memory will always live on in those homes that were created.
It was a year of heartbreak. We lost, Rotary lost, and the world lost one of the nicest people ever to walk this planet, our own Peter Hess. A guy who could light up a room with his smile. He made us laugh with his impressions of Fargo, North Dakota, and with his never-failing lack of comedic timing. We love you and miss you, Peter.
Cindy Elders, 2004-2005, celebrated Rotary's 100 years. To Centennial President Cindy, a highlight of her presidency was the presentation of the proclamation from the City of Dana Point, establishing February 23rd as Rotary Day in Dana Point. In recognition of RI's centennial, the ongoing contributions of MSBR to the community, Monarch Beach Sunrise began to search for its centennial project. Finally, what was established an Interact Club at Dana Hills during that year committed work to vocational service, and Director Daryl Kavanaugh. The club was also presented a certificate of appreciation from the Capistrano Unified School District in recognition of its involvement and support of students through the years. The club was proud to have longtime member Dr. Mark Cruz nominated as finalist in the first Business Rotarian of the Year program.
Cindy didn't know this, but 2004 was World Health Day topic was road safety. We wondered if perhaps they'd heard about how she drives better backwards than forward. Not surprisingly, her year was also the year of the monkey by the Chinese calendar. Keeping with our Asian-inspired theme, over 1 million Taiwanese participating in the 228 hand-in-hand rally formed a 300-mile-long human chain to commemorate the 228 incident in 1947. Not knowing anything about the 1947 incident, but wanting to celebrate it anyways, Cindy held Bob's hand and walked to the buffet at the St. Regis. The walk was less than a mile long and commemorated nothing whatsoever.
Paul Lyric, 2005-2006. Rotary International theme, service above self. Tall Paul took on the international theme. Paul had many proud moments during his year. Past President Don Gondeville led a group study exchange team to France, started a relationship with the Rotary Club at Camp Pendleton. Paul made sure that and attended the International Convention in Evanston, Chicago, home office to Rotary International. Paul also placed Monarch Beach Sunrise Rotary's history and pictures in a time capsule and had his picture taken with RI President Carl Wilhelm Stenhammer in Evanston at the President's desk.
The Year of the Volunteer by the UK government, the World Year of Physics, the International Year of the Eucharist in Catholicism, the Year of the Rooster by the Chinese calendar. But here at Monarch Beach Sunrise Rotary, it was the year of Paul Larrick, also known to his friends as Tall Paul. And during our One Fitful softball season, he was Nomo, our fearless pitcher. Hurricane Katrina blew in from the east, and Tall Paul blew hot air back from the west. In the end, the game was called on account of wind.
Patty Vogan, 2006-2007. Rotary International theme, Lead the Way. Patty took her coaching ability and whipped the board of directors into shape with her flip charts and thoughts for the day. Her tiny apartment came to be known as her womb with a view. Leadership paid off with final decisions on the selection of sites for the Centennial Funds. Richard Henry Dana Elementary School was awarded $10,000 for the renovation of the library during Patty's year. The seniors at the Dana Point Senior Center received a new stove, since we cooked Thanksgiving dinner and at the time St. Patty's Day dinners, and is still utilized, as we know, to this day. Lastly, Monarch Beach Sunrise Rotary led the way over the Dana Point Grand Prix bike race by providing over 30 volunteers for this new community service